Well, good Friday evening, everybody. Taylor Platt here with a look at your weekend forecast, and things are looking fantastic, but we are tracking a cold front that should be moving on through late in the day Saturday, but mainly on Sunday across the majority of the state, and that'll actually bring us a chance at a few passing showers. It's not going to be a big rainmaker. Rain chances are only around 10 to 20%, but there is a chance that we will see some shower activity this weekend. Taking a look at your Sunday morning lows to start things off, temperatures generally in the middle 50s for the most part, some upper 50s in some of the more urban areas like Birmingham coming in at 59 tomorrow morning, Huntsville around that 56 to 57 degree range. As we get into the afternoon, however, things quickly warm up. Not as warm as what we've seen the past few days, but still pretty warm out there. Temperatures in the lower 80s for the majority of northern Alabama. You start to see that cold front sneaking its way on in here Saturday afternoon. Muscle Shoals at the around about 3 o'clock hour, around 78 to 79 degrees. Huntsville right around 80, 81, but warmer to the south. Temperatures in Tuscaloosa around 85 to 86 degrees. Now, what about that chance for some of those showers? Yes, there is a chance that we could see a few showers around as we get into your afternoon on Saturday and even into Sunday as well. As you see, though, the bulk of the shower activity that is possible will likely remain across parts of Tennessee, but there are a few showers that are showing up here in the model guidance for places like Muscle Shoals, into the Athens area, Huntsville area, once we get into your Saturday afternoon. But notice as we get into the 4 o'clock hour, late in the day on your Saturday afternoon, you notice that, again, the majority of those showers will be off to the eastern part of Tennessee, but a few lingering showers will be possible across parts of northern Alabama. So not a big rain chance, but hey, it's a rain chance nonetheless. We hadn't seen that in a very long time here. Unfortunately, it's just not a big soaker like what we really need to see, but that actually could be changing once we get into the end of the month and the early part of November. Now, what about your Sunday forecast? Things are still looking pretty good on your Sunday, but as we get into the afternoon, again, that's when we're talking about our temperatures will be getting back into the upper 70s and lower 80s, but we're starting off the day back in the 50s again. Here's your temperatures as you get into your Sunday afternoon. Again, upper 70s and lower 80s for the majority of the state. You notice that cold front continuing to push on through the state. The warmer temperatures, those mid 80s, are now confined to the southern, really the southern third of the state. Mobile down to Dothan, Andalusia, Opp areas down there will remain in the mid and upper 80s. Now, looking ahead, this is going out through the end of October and into the beginning of November. Things are still looking pretty good out there, but will still be pretty warm. Temperatures will still remain in the lower 80s for several days here across the Huntsville area. Notice 82 on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Just some little dips here and there, but it's not until really the beginning of November. You see those 78s and 76s coming up in that forecast guidance. That's when we're starting to see the signs of our next big system moving on through that could bring us our best chance of rain that we've seen in quite some time. And that could also bring a chance of some stronger storms. We'll have to keep an eye on that, especially with temperatures as warm as they are now. There could be some pretty good fuel to work with, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that. That's pretty far out there to talk about right now. As you look at your Birmingham forecast, again, same thing, lower 80s for the next several days, and for your Tuscaloosa forecast as well, low to mid 80s for the next several days. So as we go into the end of November, the end of October, again, things are looking pretty warm. They'll stay warm for those next several days, and then once we get into November, there's a chance that we will see some cooler shots of air coming on through, so maybe we'll finally get those 80s out of the way for several days. I don't think we're done with the 80s once we get into November, but I think we'll see less and less of those, and then once we get into the mid and end part of November, I think we're seeing the end of the 80s at least for the majority of the time. There'll probably still be some 80s here and there, but I think the bulk of like the big, long, drawn out, several days with temperatures in the mid 80s, those will be gone by the time we get into the mid and latter part of November. That's your weekend forecast update. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here on Monday for your latest forecast breakdown for the state of Alabama.